Good morning. This is 9.4, completing the square a different way for a specific student. But I'm just gonna not say names just in case I send it to somebody else who's also confused. And before I start, I'm all sniffly because there's allergies outside, but I also just took a nasal spray for it, so I don't know why I'm sniffly. But anyways, okay, here's my tea. We're gonna start. So this week we're talking about completing the square. Let me just... Now the idea is that we're trying to... Here's really what's happening. You might... I'm gonna do a couple different ways. I didn't plan any of this. My hair's still wet from my shower this morning, so... The idea is that with completing the square, let's say I have x squared plus 6x plus 10. If I do x squared plus 6x plus 10, that doesn't factor, right? 10 is like 5 times 2, and that doesn't make a 6. So we're going to make it factor. I'm going to ignore the 10. It doesn't exist right now. It's invisible. So if I had x squared plus 6x, and I want this to be easily factorable, the easiest way is to split this in half, 3 and 3. Why not color code? So I just make this work by splitting it perfectly in half. And then what I need this one to be is actually a 9. Okay? So what we do when we complete the square is we add 9 to the problem to make it work. But we can't just add 9, we also have to subtract it. And I know that that cancels, but that's the whole point, is that it could cancel if I weren't using it. Okay, so I'm just writing all these things. Don't clean it up. Because this part right here is a perfect square. Because it's x plus 3 squared. Because it's x plus 3 times x plus 3. And then plus 10 and minus 1 is a plus 1. That's vertex form. We just made it work. Let me show you that one more time. Let's do x squared minus 8x plus 11. I already know this isn't going to factor. So I don't even bother with the 11. I'm just going to use the minus 8. So this is negative 4 and negative 4, exactly in half. And the top would have to be a 16 to make this happen. So I'm going to add 16 and I'm going to subtract 16. I wrote 19 on accident, so I scribbled it out. So I have x squared minus 8x plus 16, because this part is this little block right here. And then I have a plus 11 and a minus 16. That's what's just left behind. So this is an x minus 4 square, this part. And then it's going to be minus 5. So that's vertex form. So that's another method of doing this. Pause it right here. You can stop it if it makes sense. I'm going to see if I can think of another method too, okay? Okay, so we're going to complete the square a different method. Let's do the x squared plus 6x plus 10 again. Let me just think about this. So, remember area models? I think you do. Here's what we do for area models. This is an x squared, so it's x times x. Now, normally when you do an area model, you put the 10 here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to split the 6 into 3 and 3, which is x plus 3 and x plus 3. So that's a 9. So this is like a visual representation of my Legos. I have 9 blocks, and then it's 10, so I actually have like an extra one, right? Because 10 is the 9 that I need plus 1 extra. Okay. And the reason I did that is because this whole box is an x plus 3 square. It's a perfect square. And then I have that one little piece left over. Let me do it again with that minus 8x plus 11. All right. So x squared is x and x. Negative 8 is negative 4x and negative 4x. So x minus 4, x minus 4. And then this would have to be a 16. Now I only have 11 pieces to fill in this 16. Womp womp. So what I need to do is I need to add 5 more to make this work. And if I add 5, I have to subtract 5 to also make it work. So this 5 with the 11 makes the 16, and then there's this minus 5 that I had to create. So the box is an x minus 4 square. And then there's minus 5 tiles left behind. How many arrows can I draw on one page? This is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so that was an area model version and XPuzzle. If both of those work for you, stop it here. You're good. Let me see if I can figure out one more method. Actually, this is a good method because I'm just going to teach you the steps because sometimes you just need those, right? So let's start with that x squared plus 6x plus 10. You'd think I had done this enough times now that I'd remember. Okay, so we take half of b. So half of 6 is 3. And then we take that number squared, which is 9. So what we do is we just take this number that we just found and we add it and subtract it. I usually do it right here. I usually insert it right in the middle here. And we factor. And all we're factoring is this section. We're ignoring the rest of it. So 9 and 6 is 3 times 3. And instead of writing x plus 3, we write x plus 3 squared. And it's still minus 9 plus 10. And then we just put these together. And that same steps works for the x squared minus 8x plus 11. I do half of negative 8 is negative 4. I do negative 4 squared, which is 16. I add that and subtract it. X squared minus 8x plus 16 minus 16 plus 11. And then I factor this. 16 and negative 8 is negative 4 and negative 4. So I have x minus 4 squared minus 5 because I clean up the rest of it. Okay, that was 3 methods that totally work the same as me busting out the Legos. And I hope that really helped. It was less than 10 minutes, so it was pretty quick. So if you need me to repeat any of those or show my work a little bit slower on any of these methods, please let me know. We're going to call this following the rules. We're going to call this the area model, and we're going to call that XPuzzles. Okay, so let me know. Have a good day.